a person who can explain you everything with great examples.
And in my head I'm thinking कि ये बच्चे ना आजकल के मतलब कोई रिस्पेक्ट ही नहीं है टाइम का. Shreya is she's a very 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 curious person.
Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Dil Ki Baat with our star pairs. And today we have another one of our favorite pairs from Claylab, Ishita and Shreya. We'll get to know their stories, and without waiting anymore, I'll welcome both of them here. Hi Ishita, hi Shreya, thank you so much for joining us. We're very, very excited to get to know you, your story, and what message you have for other mentor-mentees joining us in the upcoming modules. So Shreya, can you introduce Ishita Didi in your way, and Ishita, can you introduce Shreya in your?
So Ishita Didi is a very open-minded person and a very talkative person and a person who can explain you everything with great examples. Though she says that these examples are stupid or just take an example like this while the meeting, but she explains things very nicely and she helps me connect things more nicely. And she's very accepting and understanding kind of person.
Thank you, Shreya. I think I should maybe first give you a background, just sar ke upar se jayega. So I have been with Claylab for about 2 years now. Shreya and I have been together, mentor-mentee, for about a year and a half now. And I am working. I've just started my professional journey, but Claylab is something that I definitely love to do on the side. But yes, talking about Shreya, I think a lot of जो उसने मेरे लिए बोला है वो सब कुछ is applicable even for her. Shreya, as you have already seen, is extremely talkative. I think one of my favorite things about Shreya is that she's a very 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 curious person, and like she's now in grade 10th. She's a grade 10 student, and yes, like she wants to know everything about the world. She comes up with the weirdest, strangest questions, and sometimes I'm like, ye kahan se question aaya? So I really enjoy this relationship we both have, where she comes up with these questions and then I attempt to answer these questions, and then हम लोग बहुत डिस्कस करते हैं, बहुत एक दूसरे को एग्जांपल्स देते हैं, and that's our relationship, and that's Shreya for you.
That's lovely. Thank you so much for sharing. So this is one thing I say in almost all interviews now, that in movies you always hear this dialogue, जोड़ियां भगवान बनाता है. But Claylab में जोड़ियां मैं बनाती हूँ, and I'm very, very proud of it. But I'm sure that it doesn't work from the first call itself. It takes time to get a point where you are today, talking so fondly about each other. So if I would take you back to the first day, what was your first impression of each other?
Our first meeting, there was a Shreya which wasn't there, and there was a Ishita who was sad and heartbroken because Shreya didn't show up. And the first call, basically we had scheduled it, etc., and there was no Shreya showing up. And I remember calling her phone up, not sure number sahi hai ki nahi hai. I think speaking to her mother, and her mother kind of being confused and saying, Shreya tu bahar gayi hai. And in my head I'm thinking कि ये बच्चे ना आजकल के मतलब कोई रिस्पेक्ट ही नहीं है टाइम का. And I was really upset, and I was like, जब कभी इससे मैं बात करूंगी, I have to like make it very clear that time is very important, and etc etc. But that was the first and the last time, and I'm kind of happy that it started that way, and it only like got better from there. But I would love to also hear Shreya's version of this first call or no call.
I think so. When the first call happened, I was not aware of that. I was somewhere else only. And then when I came back, my mother was like, there is some Didi. She called. I talked to her. She was asking about you. And I was like, huh? I don't know. Then I checked out and I was like, oh, I missed out the call. And then next time when we called, so I was very normal, why? Because I thought, okay, एक call hai and that's it. And then after that, when we had our next call, then we started, matching thoda cheese from each other. Whatever I used to say, Didi was like, yeah, that is something which I can connect to, and I can feel that, this thing took place in my childhood. And then we started talking dire, and then we are very comfortable now with each other.
Coming back to the question, how did you both go about expectation setting and holding each other accountable, not just from like during the first incident, but throughout? How do you maintain that accountability between you both?
I think that's like a very important subject, especially because I had a stint even as a super mentor. I also see how bears struggle with this. I think what really worked for the both of us was that I was not the person who, I wasn't just the mentor. I wasn't the giver. She wasn't the receiver. So I never even felt ki, mera time precious hai. It was more like this is a conversation that we are collectively coming into, etc. So I think that's sort of a agency jo hum dono ne, like, we gave each other the respect of being individuals. As soon as we did that, her time is just as valuable as my time. And I think the baseline here was that respect, recognizing and that respect. So I think once we said that, once I told her कि श्रेया मुझे ये चीज अच्छी नहीं लगी, एंड इन द फर्स्ट कॉल ऑल्सो टेलिंग हर कि मैं कुछ कभी बोलूंगी जो आपको अच्छी नहीं लगेगी, सो इट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट कि आप वो मुझे भी बताओ. सो दैट साइकोलॉजिकल सेफ्टी, दैट रिस्पेक्टिंग ईच अदर एज इंडिविजुअल्स, आई थिंक वाज वेरी क्रूशियल गोइंग फॉरवर्ड. श्रेया, डू यू वांट टू ऐड एनीथिंग टू दैट?
I think absolutely what you said was right. I think the most important part is that sometimes what happens is that I am texting Didi and Didi is like, "Oh no, I'm not free right now. I am busy with some work." And sometimes when Didi messages me, and then I'm like, "I didn't saw the message for 2-3 hours." And the best part over here is that we don't take it very seriously. We do understand that okay, the person is busy because of certain things, but that ego doesn't come between us, and that's the best part.
I think these are good expectations and it's a good norm setting to structure your conversations. Were there any goals that you both set for your journey that by the end of this year or by the end of this module, this is where Ishita and Shreya are going to be, or this is what Shreya is going to become? Did Shreya come up with any such goals that Didi, this is what I want to be and this is where I need your help? So any sort of goal setting that you all did as a pair?
So I think my responsibility as a mentor here is to kind of look at the curriculum that Claylab is giving us, but look at my mentee here and sort of try and come up with a middle ground where, because I was at that age ages ago. So, sometimes it's hard to remember कि उस time मुझे किस चीज की जरूरत थी, which is where the curriculum helps me. But at the same time, the curriculum is not designed for Shreya exclusively, and I am a better judge of probably what Shreya can take from it and not take from it. And which is why I think we somehow, it's just lucky that our conversations have kind of followed the same theme of the curriculum, whereas we don't necessarily stick to the curriculum itself. To give an example, just say since ye wala jo curriculum tha, this module was about career awareness and developing these skills or like stream choosing. Somehow those topics, we started off with the curriculum and then topics kept emerging. So हमने बिल्कुल शुरू में ये decide किया था, especially हमने जब baseline test लिया था, we knew that while Shreya has a lot of good things, what she's probably missing at this point of time is awareness about streams, awareness about how to get to those streams, etc. So वो already we had sort of bookmarked, in our heads कि ये चीजों पे थोड़ा भी focus करना पड़ेगा. So yeah, that is my version of this. Anything you want to add to this, Shreya?
I think when the first meeting was there and I came to know that I'm a part of Claylab, because Claylab helps you to choose your stream. So, and I was very confused person that what do I want to take, science, commerce or arts, because I had interest in everything and it was very hard for me to pick any one of them. But now I am very, very sure that what do I want to take and why I want to take that. The main thing is the reason, but keeping that apart, that is the most important thing. But I think that instead of setting goals, our path was more fruitful. We had done a lot of things. We have talked about a lot of things, which is not ultimately the goal, or we didn't thought that, okay, in the next meeting, we are going to talk about certain things, or in the next meeting, we are going to, discuss or research about certain things. But just about talking and with each other, we came to know the answer or things what we want to do.
That's awesome. Shreya, question for you now. How do you think having a mentor has created any changes in your life?
Okay, I think this has a very huge answer because I have seen a lot of change in myself. I have become more like open-minded. I have learned how to accept things, and the most important thing is that I have learned how to understand. So I am a kind of person who is always concerned about social problems, social issues, why certain thing is happening, not in such a way, but in such a way where it's bad for some people and good for some people. But Didi have always taught me that the way how's the way I should think about it, and how's the way that if I will work for certain things, I won't be offended by that. For example, when we had a talk about LGBTQ in our discussion once, and after that, the thing is that what if I went somewhere out and I am just talking about it randomly? People will not understand that okay, I believe in certain things because they don't believe in. But we changed it nicely. We did a lot of thing out of it. We also presented it here and there. And the best part over there was that I made sure that I am talking about certain things where people are present who are going to understand me. And through this, many parents also understood. Jinko, if I would have told them directly that this is LGBTQ and you should just respect every gender, they would have not understand. But the things which I did made the idea more clear to them. Also, I think that because of Didi, my research skill have become more stronger.
A question about challenges, or maybe you both mentioned that there would be sometimes there are awkward silences, you don't know what to talk about, or sometimes you're not agreeing about things, and it's very normal to happen between any person, be it adults, be it kids, be it a mentor mentee. I'm sure you've had those too. So if you could quote one of these examples, an anecdote where you both had a disagreement on something, or you decided that this is not something we're aligned on, how did you face that? How did you get past that?
I think that time management is something which I think that is a big challenge for us, because Didi is in abroad, so her timings are quite different from here, यहाँ का timing. And that too is that, like, I have school in the morning, and then I don't get phone sometimes because my mother takes the phone, and then Didi have messaged, and I'm not aware of, she have messaged, and we need to have a talk right now. And sometimes what happens is that when I message Didi, she's in meeting and she's not free. So that time management, and when we are like, and we feel quite sad when we say I am thoda sa busy, and I personally feel very guilty that I am not able to give Didi time, why I am so busy. But I think that's a big challenge, and that too because my exams are also sometimes there, and lots of things are there in our life. So managing time is quite different, but although we tried our best to do so, and we somehow do.
So you asked us about, disagreements or different opinions about things. I think यहाँ पे भी the first point that I mentioned about respecting autonomy and respecting ourselves as individuals, because just like कल का जो conversation का example Shreya was giving, she was having some trouble with her friend and she wanted to take a particular approach for that. She wanted to tell her friend certain things, etc., etc. And here, realizing that I am not a parent, and मेरा कुछ भी solution हो, even if I've read 100 books about it, that's not her reality at this point, and she is the best judge of that. Again, what I can do is give her the tools and then let go. If there is involvement, but there is also from my end bit of a letting go. And I'm giving Mera example only because I feel that the dynamics of it, me being older, me being in the position of a mentor, means I am the one who will usually get upset ki why is she not taking my advice. इसीलिए मैं अपना example दे रही हूँ. But at that point, like when I told her, I said कि देखो, you want to do it like this, आपको ये बताना है अपनी friend को, बताओ. But just remember that how you give advice is very important. एंड देन अगेन एग्जाम्पल के साथ, बिकॉज देखो अभी वो अगर इस सिचुएशन में है, वो तुम्हारा एग्जाम्पल लेगी नहीं. सो फाइनली यू डिसाइड, बट मे बी यू वांट टू हैव दिस एडेड इंफॉर्मेशन.
Lovely. So Claylab's goal in the next 10 years or so is 1 million mentors supporting 1 million first generation students so that they can gain good employment, help their families come out of poverty. When you hear the statement, it sounds very powerful and heavy, and it's so far, honestly, when I talk about it. Like, I don't know where I'll be when that day comes, but I want to live to see that day. How do you feel about it? Because you're a part of the first 1,000 of this 1 million. How do you feel about this vision? How do you see yourself contributing to it? What do you think about the day we'll actually achieve it, what kind of a world will it be?
So I think that it gave me kind of goosebumps kind of thing, because there would be 1 million students getting support just as I got. And the thing is that we actually need it. Those 1 million students actually need it, but even I was not aware that I need a mentor. I was not even known of that there is someone called mentor who helps you to see your path or whatever, help you out with different situations. So I think that this is going to be awesome. And yesterday in our call I told Didi that some whatever happens, I'm not going to leave Claylab, because I have gained a lot from it and I will have to give it back.
That's so awesome. I got goosebumps with your answer. Thank you so much, Shreya. Ishita, anything to add?
Shreya, that was amazing, because I think what I was thinking about was exactly that Claylab at that place for 1 million, it will not be a organization, then it will be a revolution, it will be a shift in society, because we are all going to be a more generous society, giving back. This cycle, this, like, it will basically be a cascading effect that Purva, you guys can't really control. And I think that would be really, really, really kinder, more generous, better world, I think so.
Definitely. In fact, I think I say this a lot in meetings also. मैं हमेशा बोलती हूँ कि क्ले लैब में आगे जाके जॉब सिर्फ मेंटीज को ही मिलेगी. I will never hire anybody from outside because nobody understands our work more than our mentees. Now I'm opening it up to mentors also, because I'm realizing that the mentors are also learning so much from this program, even though they might not be the direct beneficiaries. So when I also imagine 1 million, I know it's going to be 1 million ka at least, like 50,000-ish would be just our mentees who've grown up and now coming back to be mentors, taking the movement forward. Because honestly, the problem we're working on is too huge. I cannot solve it alone. One pair cannot solve it. We'll need to have, leaders coming back year after year to solve it for the next generation. And like Ishita said, if everybody starts seeing this as their responsibility, the society in general would become so generous. It'll be such a beautiful world to live in, and I can't wait to be there. With that, thank you so much, both of you, for being so candid. I'm so excited for this episode to go out and for everybody else to also hear you both and have a good time like I did while listening to you too.
So east or west, Claylab is always best, and it can become more best, though it's grammatically wrong, but emotionally it's very right. When you're together, you're teaching, you're learning, and you're helping others out to learn. So this session was awesome because somehow we also made the session made our bonds more stronger, and it will make dusro ka bond more stronger, and it will help others as well to reflect back and just think of what they can do more, or just think of that if they are doing already such things, they should be proud of that. Okay, thank you for watching this episode. Please check out the more episodes, we'll learn more things. Thank you.